Well, good afternoon or good morning or good whatever it is where you are. My name is Brian Monsell, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and welcome to the fourth Seasonal Adjustment Practitioners Workshop. This is, of course, day one. Welcome. This year's virtual workshop has about 25 speakers, 25 talks, with speakers from a number of different places, 10 international statistical agencies and central banks, 4 US statistical agencies, 4 universities, and 3 private companies and consulting firms. So we've managed to get a wide variety of participants for our talks. Some general notes. All of the sessions are going to be recorded. So as Kathy said at the beginning, please don't reveal any confidential information or any PII, as we like to call it. And please try not to say anything partisan or politically inflammatory in these times. We're going to have one breakout session a day. That is essentially going to be a concurrent session. And we're going to use a separate Zoom link. You're going to need to use a separate Zoom link to access that session. I'll put that, so one of us will put that link in the chat once we get going. And please, I ask you, if possible, if you could keep your cameras and mics off unless you're presenting. We tried to leave a little bit of time at the end of each session for some kind of discussion, and we will probably try to open mics after that. But if not, if you have questions, and if there's time for questions, maybe you can leave a question in the chat. To go over some details of today's sessions. First, we're going to have a tutorial on identifying seasonality by Tucker McElroy and Kathy McDonald Johnson of the U.S. Census Bureau. The Census Bureau and BEA and BLS, several of us have been contributing to a paper called Identifying Seasonality, which was released this year. And Tucker and Kathy are going to be doing a presentation based around some issues from that paper. Next, there's going to be a session on modeling applications and supporting seasonal adjustment. You see 4 different papers here, starting at about 210. Some of these sessions are about, there's one on outlier methodology, another on choosing seasonal adjustment models, another on seasonality tests for weekly time series, and another on using mixed effect state space models on applications of some data. So a wide variety of modeling applications in that session. Next, this is the first of our concurrent sessions in the afternoon. This is going to be on this main feed, so you won't have to leave this feed in order to see this session. The first talk is about basically on using Bayesian mixture estimation. Another one is applying indirect seasonal adjustment to chained indices, and another is a paper again with Tucker McElroy and a couple of other his co-authors, talking about removing seasonality from the US GDP. So again, not as long a session, but three very interesting papers. And finally, at the end of the afternoon, we have what we call our lightning sessions, 5 shorter sessions talking about, many of them are essentially demonstrating different software, some of them talking about issues related to composite seasonal adjustment, and some talking about transportation series. This is in our breakout room. Again, we'll try to put the link to that session, but you'll need to access another link, another Zoom room to access this session. This won't be in this main session. So first of all, before we start, I want to give thanks to a couple of different people. First of all, the government statistics section, the business and economic statistics section. They provided the main. This is essentially GSS's feed. We had to pay extra for a larger number of participants, and so the GSS and the B and E section are both providing funding for that. And Wendy Martinez is providing funding, or at least providing us with the Zoom room for the second special the special sessions on each day. We would not be able to do this without their support and their help in putting together and getting the Zoom rooms done. I also want to thank all of the presenters and co-authors who are here today, who have been basically providing us with these talks today. It's very, we're very happy with how the program came out. One of the people that has looked over says that this is probably better than the sessions they would get at JSM. So we're very happy with the quality and the breadth of the presentations, and we want to thank all of the co-authors and presenters for providing us with these talks. I also want to thank my colleagues on the organizing committee. You can see there are a bunch of people from the Census Bureau and Bureau of Labor Statistics, and Catherine Hood from her consulting agency. We've been working pretty much all year to put this program and this together. So I want to thank them both personally, and I want to thank them collectively on doing a lot of work, a lot of great work in putting all of this stuff together. It's been a pretty long hassle, but I think we're very happy with what we've got. Finally, I want to say a little bit about a couple of things that may be coming this fall. We were going to try and have a panel session on seasonal adjustment training. Many of us in statistical agencies, due to COVID and other restrictions, have had to move our seasonal adjustment training from an in-person module to a virtual module. And many of us are on different paths to doing this and are doing this in different ways. So we thought it would be good to have a panel session on how different agencies and different people were doing this kind of training. We ran out of time in terms of, where could we put the session and whatnot. So we've decided to try and move this to the fall so that our group will put together sort of like a longer panel session. We'd be interested in having people from other agencies and other countries talk about their particular training needs. And if you're interested in being part of the session, I'd ask you to contact us at the email address you see on the screen. It's basically the email address we've been using to communicate with you all, esmd.seasonal.workshop@census.gov. We haven't yet scheduled it, but we're hoping to have, like I said, something in the fall dealing with seasonal adjustment training, and specifically virtual seasonal adjustment training. I also wanted to mention that there's going to be a time series workshop at the OECD in September. This is going to be an in-person and a combination of an in-person and a virtual workshop. So even if you can't go, this is going to be held in France. Even if you can't go to France to attend this meeting, you'll be able to attend. It's organized by Dominique Laderet and Roberto Astolfi. It looks to be a very broad workshop, not only with seasonal adjustment, but benchmarking and applications for JDaMetra Plus, and a lot of other topics of interest to people who would attend this workshop. So we will forward information about the workshop later. Probably after we've done this workshop, we'll send you information about that one, because you may be interested in attending and learning from that. So I'm done. I finished just a little bit early. This is my contact information. And anyway, I hope you all have a really good time. And then now we can transition to Tucker and Kathy.